What's up, guys? It's your boy Ibrahim. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I know you guys have seen a little bit of a change here. This is where I actually wanted to take this channel. In the beginning, I really didn't have much to work with. So, alhamdulillah, I've gotten the opportunity to put things together. Excuse me, I wanted this to be more personal. I wanted this to be more intimate. I know sometimes I address certain questions that really are deeper than me. And so I just wanted to sort of put the focus on you guys. I wanted this to sort of be really something that you guys can benefit from, because I know in my previous videos I was more of like all over the place, which I probably could be as we go on. But I wanted to sort of also incorporate a little bit of merch into the channel, just make things more uniform for you guys, make it more pleasing to the eyes, as much as I'm sure I'm really pleasing to the eyes, but just create that setting as well to where you guys can benefit from. So anyways, I don't want to blabber, I don't want to keep going, but I wanted to jump on a very important topic that I wanted to really address. And I am going to look down a little bit here because I've made certain points for myself to go off by, because sometimes I could talk for a very long time, which I do enjoy talking. I do enjoy answering questions. I do enjoy giving feedbacks, but I also want to be on point with what I really want to talk about here. So without further ado, I will jump on the question. So the question I really wanted to address today for this video. I also wanted to make this video a little short because this topic can be 2-3 hours long. But the question is, why do women choose career over a man? Why do women choose career to be the end goal or the success of this life, as opposed to a unionship with a man? And a lot of girls can really say for a lot of reasons, and some girls do say, hey, I don't think a man is worth the hassle. I think my career is much better than that. So I wanted to touch on a few things that really shape this mentality that, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm not at the point where, this is a judgment-free zone. This is a judgment-free channel, but I will touch on a few things, and sometimes I may say things that you may not relate to. I may say things that might hit a nerve, but believe me, it's coming from a good place. It's also coming from a place where I also have a lot of learning to do. So bear with me if I come off offensive, which that's not the goal here. And if I do say things that are out of line, this channel is for you guys. So please straighten me out. Make sure you guys leave a comment and make sure you guys say, hey, that wasn't really appropriate, and you need to word things differently next time, or hey, you need to clarify yourself because what you said here is not the truth. So bear with me. So yeah, why do women choose career over a man and not both? One of the things I really wanted to touch on is the what society teaches, right? In today's world, in today's society, money, success, and achievement is seen as the highest calling in the world, right? It's seen as the success of the world. And a lot of people, don't see that, but that's what society pushes. And sometimes growing up, I'm from Somalia, so I came here when I was 7. I haven't really lived the society in Somalia. So being here in America, I've learned that, the goal is to go to school, finish school, get a career, work that career, provide for your family, and that's it, right? And in Somalia, what I've heard and from what I've seen, and a little bit of what was given to me by my parents, is that the success in Somalia, because it's governed by the Deen, it's governed by Islam, is that the success of this world is marriage, right? The success of this world is a unionship between a man and a woman. The end goal is to be with a man and have kids and live your life. Um, yeah, there are pros and cons to that because it doesn't really promote individuality. It doesn't really give women the the opportunity to do what they want to do for themselves, to whether they want to go into business, whether they want to go into artwork, whether they want to go into whatever it is that they want to do with their lives. It doesn't really promote individuality for a woman, but it does promote marriage. It does promote that, hey, you should think about settling down. You should think about safeguarding your deen. You should think about having kids and leaving something behind, and that encouragement of, hey, be with a man, right? So a lot of women in Somalia may, or in other countries too, may decide that, hey, their success, or what they consider their career to be, is with a man, is that's their end goal. That's what they are striving to do. So, but in this society in America, we know that society really promotes money as being success, career as being success, individuality as being success, being alone. Sometimes it promotes, society promotes that being alone is a very good thing, that, hey, you don't need a man. You don't need support. You can be your own support. You can be your own person. And again, there is pros to cons to every situation that I'm talking about here, but I really want people to understand that based on different societies, hey, this society might choose marriage as being the ultimate success, whereas this society might choose individuality as being the success. So in today's society, in the society that I'm living in America, marriage is not promoted, right? Marriage is not seen as like, oh, this is where you need to be, this is where you need to go. Like, marriage is not something that is in the forefront. And I believe that a little bit of the downfall of the society is because of that. Like, because they don't promote the idea of companionship. They don't promote the idea of being with someone. Nowadays, it's about, hey, be your own woman, be your own person, be your own, do your own thing. You don't need a man in your life. You can do everything a man can do for you. And that's because the faith in this society is missing, right? If a society, if a society was to govern by their own desires, or to be governed by their own thoughts, they would be linear. They would either choose this way or that way, this way or that way. And the one thing that really governs our life, and the one thing that really helps shape our goals and shape our success and shape our perspective is faith. So because, in Islam, the idea of marriage, the idea of companionship, the idea of settling down, the idea of having kids, having a family is at the forefront, and that's what Islam really promotes. Because Islam is not really incorporated in this society, you have that little, you have that problem of, because that faith is not there, you have that problem. You have that problem where society is only linear. You have that problem to where society only thinks about success being about you, success being about, you have to do this. This is the way, money is the way to happiness. Money is the way to do things. So if you take faith out of the picture, which the society to a certain extent, I believe, is faithless, then you have that linear perspective where money is the ultimate success. Money, individuality is the ultimate success. You should just worry about yourself, do your own thing, live life on your own, then die, and that's it, right? So I think a little bit of not having faith, and a lot of Muslims nowadays aren't really incorporating what their faith teaches into their lives, because if they did, a lot of women, for this video, I'm really addressing women. So a lot of women, if they don't incorporate their religion into their daily lives, then you have that kind of perspective. A lot of women do have that kind of perspective where they're just thinking about their money. They're just thinking about their career. They're just thinking about their business. They're just thinking about themselves. They're just thinking about, how can I get ahead? How can I do things for myself? How can I be individual? How can I take my individuality to the highest, part of my life? Like, how can I make myself the end goal, right? And sadly, that's what we're dealing with today, is that we're putting faith in the back burn. We're putting faith as being the last thing that we listen to. So we listen to society first. We listen to ourselves first, governed by what society teaches us. And oftentimes that creates that situation where we choose career, money, success, achievements as being the highest achievement of this world. Another thing that really shapes the perspective for a lot of women on choosing a career over a man is the family dynamics and their upbringing. It really, I feel like this plays a big role in why women choose career over a man, is because of what family promotes, right? You have parents today, fathers and mothers, that say, hey, you need to go to school, you need to finish school, you need to do this for yourself, you need to, be a woman and make sure you make money for yourself. Don't rely on a man, don't depend on a man, and don't do this for a man, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And so you have the family putting this beautiful woman, beautiful girl, and they're giving this perspective to this girl, to this woman, who may not know, who may have a little bit of like, hey, I really want to get married, I really want to settle down, but I also want to have my career. And so the family sort of hits this viewpoint that they have on a girl who's growing up. They're telling them, go to school, this is the goal, this is why I came to the United States, this is why I'm doing the things I'm doing, is because I want you to be successful, I want you to get a college education, I want this to be about you, and don't worry about a man. And sometimes it could be from a scarcity perspective, because our parents really didn't have an education, right? And so they see education and money and these other goals as being like scarce. It's like, you won't ever get your education if you end up with a man. You won't, like, you need to get your education, you need to get this money because it's scarce. Like, it's disappearing, it's leaving our lives, because a lot of parents didn't really grow up with money. A lot of our parents really didn't have any money. So they have the scarcity perspective, and they give it to their daughters, and they're like, hey, get your money, get your education, don't worry about a man, forget a man and what he has to say, and go ahead, chase your life. And so they create this situation where a husband becomes the last thing on their mind. And one of the things that they do think about is just getting ahead, right? Just getting ahead. And today you have a lot of girls that really look back and say, hey, I wish I wasn't so linear. I wish I wasn't just one way. Like, I wish I wasn't just focused on my education, because now I'm at a situation where I really could have done things, differently. I could have done things together, as opposed to it being about me, as opposed to being about money and school and achievements and whatnot. So even in getting to know a guy along the process of being successful individually, of getting your money up and of finishing school and this and that, a lot of girls have dating short term. Like, they date short term with an end in mind, because a lot of parents don't realize that if you promote the idea of individuality, if you promote the idea that money is the ultimate success, achievements, and you got to have your career, you got to have your education, when you start promoting that, you kind of put your daughter in a situation where now they're dating along the way with an end in mind, because they're not really looking to settle down now. So they're just looking to talk to someone for a very long time and not make anything out of it, and just like drop it if they feel like they don't need this person anymore. So you're, a lot of parents are creating that dynamic for a lot of girls. So they're like, hey, why am I going to um, focus on getting married when I can have a guy along the way of achieving my success? And that success could be the career that they want. 6 years of schooling or 8 years of schooling. I can date along the way, I can have fun along the way, and then later on I can decide if I want to get married or not. And that's the toxic element of this idea of chasing your career, of chasing money, of money being the ultimate success, that parents don't realize that their daughters may be doing on the side. And obviously there are difference of opinion. I'm sure a lot of you can disagree with me on, is that, hey, dating doesn't have to be physical. It can be verbal, and people get to know each other for that long and end up marrying each other. That's for another time. But in terms of like a lot of girls, what they deal with today is that they want that companionship, but their parents have drilled this idea that you should just worry about your career, and not focus on a man. So they don't really see men as the ultimate goal. So they're not looking at marriage, at a man as a marriage material at this time. They're looking at it as like, oh yeah, I can have fun and date around, and I don't really need to get married and settle down and whatnot. So that's one of the things that really pushes a lot of girls to choose career over man, is because of the family dynamics, and everything around it. Another thing is about the family dynamics is family bad experiences, right? A lot of Somali, within the Somali community, a lot of mothers are single mothers. They've come from a negative place. They've been physically abused. They've been verbally abused. A lot of men haven't really treated the Somali woman the way they should be treated, and that could be in a lot of communities. Even in today's community, like, we see a lot of single mothers, a lot of mothers who have 4 kids, 5 kids with no father in sight, right? And sometimes mothers might be coming from a place of hurt, a place of like, hey, don't worry about a man, don't think about a man, because they've been hurt, right? They've been done wrong by the man that they trusted and the man that they wanted things to work out with. So they're coming from such a hurtful place in advising their daughters about how to go, how to be successful. So sometimes their success may not have a man in the picture, because they have all the negative thoughts about a man. They don't want to teach their daughters that you need a man. More, they want to teach their daughters that you don't need a man, because look at me, I'm a single mother, and your father left me, and you don't need to focus on man, because they really, they're going to leave you at the end anyway, so you might as well put your foot forward. So a lot of parents are advising from a hurtful place. Mothers might say, hey, go make more money. Men won't make you happy. Men, being with a man is not happiness. You won't find happiness in that. And unfortunately, a lot of girls are not aware of where their mother is coming from. A lot of girls don't think outside the box and say, hey, maybe this might work out for me if I do, worry about trying to find a companion, trying to settle down, trying to focus on what God wants me to do in a way, so where I can do both things together. So a lot of girls don't have that awareness, not because of being a woman, not because of being a girl, but because they haven't matured enough, or they haven't learned the ability to sort of think things through. Like, hey, just because someone has advised you doesn't mean that you have to take that advice to heart and take it, and take all of it, because it's coming from a person that you cherish, or a person that you really love, because that advice can also be hurtful to you, because it's coming from a place of hurt from them, or a place where they've had a negative experience with, and so they advise you based on that, and you're like taking it because it's coming from someone you love, and it shouldn't be the case. You should have the the ability to think things through, because what may work, what worked out for someone may not work out for you, or what didn't work out for someone may work out for you. So yeah, so you have to really take advice with a grain of salt. You have to really say, hey, let me see what my mother is really telling me. Let me see what my relatives are really telling me, and see if it works for you. And lastly, one of the main reasons why a lot of women choose career over a man, they choose career over marriages, is because really the access to great men is rare. And I attest to that, because I see the quality of men today, and I see how men have evolved, right? Not physically, but have mentally evolved, and you don't have a lot of great men out there. You don't have a lot of great role models. You don't have a lot of like men that you could say, hey, wow, I still have hope. A lot of girls are not saying, hey, I still have hope that there are great men out there like this person, like that person. It's a handful of great men out there, and unfortunately, because of how society has also shaped men to view women, or how society has shaped men to behave, it makes it difficult for a lot of girls to choose a man over their careers, because you can't really trust those men, right? You can't really trust those men. Now you've created a situation where you make it difficult for a girl to say, hey, I will get married soon, because wow, I have such a great selection of men to choose from. A lot of girls are not saying that. They're actually saying the opposite. Like, man, it's so hard to find a great man. I would settle down if there was a great man, and I wouldn't really, and I would, continue to chase my career and continue to be accomplished. But also, I would also consider settling down, because I have such a great selection of men to choose from. I have, like, men are really, you have a lot of great men out there. So that's another situation where you don't have access to a lot of great men, and a lot of girls can't really think about the idea of marriage, and whatnot. So unfortunately, because of all these things, a lot of women at the end of their career, they have this void, right? After chasing the career, after chasing the money, after chasing the achievements, the rewards, and the being famous and whatnot, there's this void, and it's something I believe that Allah has created us with, right? Because even when Adam alayhi salam was in paradise, he was given paradise. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're given paradise. The goal that we all wanna achieve is to be in paradise, to have everything our heart desires, right? Adam was given that, yet there was still a void in his heart, right? There was still a void in his heart, and that void was to have a companion, to be with someone. Because as much as he had everything that he needed, alayhi salam, as much as he had everything that he needed, there was still a void in his heart that, hey, I need to fulfill this void. And the only way to fulfill this void is, oh Allah, give me someone that, that can give me peace, that can give me this tranquility, this love, right? And so a lot of women at the end of their careers, they really get to a point where they're like, hey, I have this void, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I need someone to talk to. I want to be close to someone. I want to feel that connection with someone. I want that soulful connection. I want that intimate connection. And so a lot of women really face that point, and a lot of women do go into like a depressive state. They go through this lonely state. So at the end of the day, they do realize that you really need a companion. And so this idea that a lot of women choose career over a man, I don't think that's the way to go. I think you can balance yourself out. I think a lot of women can choose their career, but also think about marriage, think about settling down, think about, because settling down is not the end. Is not the end of your life, right? You can do so many things even when you're married, even when you do find the right one. But you should take a lot of things you should take a lot of things. Excuse me. You should take a lot of things into consideration, because society may not be for you. Society may not be helping you in the long run. Your family may not be helping you in the long run. So this is a decision that you have to make for yourself. You have to think things through and be like, hey, can I do things together? Can I have a balance in my life? Can I find a partner who would support me in my goals? And can I achieve the things that I want to achieve at the same time having a man by my side? So we're not here to fight with one another, right? We're not competing with one another, even though society creates that situation for us. But those are the reasons why I think a lot of women choose career over a man. But I always promote the most balanced way, and then I think you can still chase your career at the same time being with a man in the most halal way, in the most productive way. And sometimes Allah may bless both of you, and sometimes His blessings can be shared with you, and you might achieve even greater lengths. You might go even further because Allah is blessing both of you as opposed to blessing you individually. So, yeah. What do I think? I think you should choose both. All right, guys. So that's a wrap. I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope you guys continue to subscribe. If you're new here, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys comment down below of what else that, what it is that you guys want me to discuss or talk about, or any questions that you guys have that I may address. Feel free to reach out. And don't forget to support this channel. Inshallah, I have a lot of things in store for you guys. And I'm not done with fixing up the setting as well. So inshallah, I might incorporate a few things down the line. Until next time, deuce.